Well, the University of Notre Dame held its commencement ceremony this weekend without its special guest, President Biden. The White House says the cancellation was simply due to a scheduling conflict. But there appears to be more to the story. A petition has been circulating around Notre Dame demanding that the university president not invite President Biden nor give him an honorary degree because of the many policies he supports, which openly defy church teachings. And as of Sunday, more than 4,400 students, alumni, and other members of the community had signed that petition. All right, well, let's discuss with our company, Grace Curley, host of The Grace Curley Show and a Boston Herald columnist and host of a brand new morning show on WMAL. The very familiar sounding name, Larry O'Connor of O'Connor and Company. Welcome back to the show, both of you, and congratulations on the show, Larry.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without Sean.
I know that. Grace knows that. Lindsay knows that. I'm glad you finally come around. You know what was interesting? I don't think the president had anything on his schedule this weekend. So it's kind of fascinating. They're like, it's a scheduling conflict, but we're not doing anything. Larry, since you have the new show and Grace is the veteran, start with you. He's only the second Catholic president in history, but his policies on abortion, marriage, sex, gender, all go against teachings of the church.
Right.
It's fascinating. I was actually kind of blown away that these students did this. I thought that the kids would probably be all woke and excited about it.
I was thrilled. I got to say, I mean, as a Catholic, I'm thrilled to see Catholic students at a Catholic university acting a little more Catholic than even the American Catholic bishops are, because they haven't been able to come this far. I'm a Catholic. I'm an imperfect Catholic. I don't present myself for Eucharist all the time because I'm not always in communion with the church because of my own personal failings. The president should know better. The president should not present himself for these things because he knows that his public policies and his stance are completely anathema to the church and the church's teachings. And I am so proud right now of I'm a Michigan fan. I hate Notre Dame football, but I'm very proud of Notre Dame today.
All right, go Wolverines. All right, Grace, but Biden did speak at Notre Dame's commencement in 2016 when he was vice president. What do you think changed at Notre Dame? Why the outrage now?
I think it probably has something to do with his position on the Hyde Amendment. But what I find really interesting is this whole idea that he had some sort of conflict. Like Sean said, his schedule is pretty clear. This reminds me of those situations where people say, you can't fire me, I quit. Like, you don't want to be embarrassed, like, just come up with something else. But based off his last commencement speech where he lifted a joke from Dick Cheney and then yelled at the class for not laughing hard enough at him and called them dull, I'm going to say that this is a win-win for both the students and for Joe Biden.
It is funny, but I do get a kick out of the fact that he made up a fake excuse in the Washington press corps. I was like, okay. Larry, I do want to keep going down the path of hypocrisy because this photo made its rounds on social media this weekend with Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, where she's in a bar with a ton of folks, and which is against her own regulations in her state. So there's two things that I thought were interesting about this. One is the obvious, Gavin Newsom-esque hypocrisy. But secondly, it just proves that her regulations were stupid. And then, ironically, today, before we went on air, she lifted her restrictions because I think she went into a bar and said, wow, I'm all vaccinated with these people. This was a stupid regulation. I'll lift it myself.
Yeah, you honed in on the key part of this. If she was so concerned about the people of Michigan and keeping them safe from the virus, why in the hell is she putting herself in danger of the virus if it was a real concern? And of course it wasn't. It is like Newsom and Whitmer and Cuomo keep sort of watching each other and saying, hold my beer, because they're all trying to outdo each other. The only thing that's saving Gretchen Whitmer, I think, is that Michigan does not have a recall statute on their constitution the way that California does for Newsom.
Yeah, it's becoming like a standard for liberal governors, it feels like. But Grace, listen to what Whitmer had to say about her being out earlier. Listen to this.
I don't know that there's a lot more for me to add at this point in time other than those former Spartans, or I guess you're a Spartan for life, who know the establishment should be aware that it's now a restaurant and they have pretty good pizza.
Oh, well, that explains it. She's a Spartan.
Oh, right.
Of course.
Right, Grace, I feel like this was same like Andrew Cuomo. He just makes jokes about things when he doesn't want to answer the question or try to make light of it and act like it's not a big deal. And to Sean's point, she changes the rule today, Grace.
Yeah, and it's really insulting to business owners, to parents who haven't had their kids in school, all of this talk about, I'm human, I make mistakes. Well, when other humans wanted to do these things, they were told that they were Neanderthals, so it doesn't really add up. And I think you're absolutely right, this idea that, I can joke about it. It's not funny to a lot of people. And if it's really not that big a deal, if we're just going to say the pizza's really good, then maybe other people could have buried their family members and had wakes for them and just said, well, I know it's against the rules, but the pizza was really good at the reception. So I'm confused by these jokes, by taking it so lightly, because to a lot of people, this has ruined their lives and it's not funny.
Yeah.
Grace, before we go, I got a big question for you, and I don't mean to get this kind of kind of throw this at you, but are you interested or willing to rename your show Curly and Company?
You know what? I will consider it, but only if you come on as a guest.
As always,
wow.
That's the I feel like it would be nice if we had like a block of everybody had their own.
It's a standard nomenclature in the industry. So, Sean, it's not like you invented something. I know I'm a guest here. I don't want to insult Newsmax and the great team at Spicer and Company, but this is hardly inventing sliced bread, Sean.
But you know what our difference is? We have great company here at Spicer and Company. You can't say no because you're a part of that company.
True,
Grace, Larry, great to have you.
Thanks, guys.
Congrats, Larry.
Thank you.
All right.